Hey, what's up? Yeah, today the weather isn't so nice. We went running this morning. That was great. Didn't get rained on, but it's going to be raining later today, so I think I'm just gonna stay in the flat today. We might go get some food. Pretty much it's gonna be a chill day today, so I thought it'd be a good day to just give you, to do a quick video, hopefully quick, just talking about some advice when it comes to decluttering and like how you can get started if you are interested in going down this path. And this is all just because someone asked me on my Facebook page, just explaining like, I'm interested in doing this thing, but I don't really know where to begin. It's like overwhelming. She was talking about like her book collection and decluttering that and minimizing it. Yeah, it's a little difficult though to give advice on like how to start your journey because it's going to be different for everyone. It's simple, but it's difficult. Like on one hand, to become a minimalist, like if you want to get to the point where I am, where Akuba is, you have to get rid of stuff. You have to stop buying new stuff, and that sounds simple enough. But what's difficult is finding the motivation to get to that point. For me, my motivation was strong. I gave myself around a year to get rid of everything I owned to where I would only have enough belongings to fit into one bag. And that was because I wanted to move overseas and like start a new life, so I had to get rid of everything. So I had no choice. I had to succeed at that, otherwise I wouldn't be able to move. What's really most important is like finding out why you want to make a change. Like what do you hope to accomplish in living this way? Why do you want to get rid of all of your stuff? And once you know that answer, that should help motivate you to keep going down this path. It's best to like figure that out, like why do you want to simplify your life? What do you hope to achieve? And write that stuff down to where you can have it and you can look at it every day and you can share that with other people because then you're more likely to keep working towards that goal. Finding that motivation, like pushing yourself to get rid of your stuff, that can't come from anyone else. It has to come from within you. So if you want to be a minimalist, but you don't want to get rid of your stuff, then you're never going to get there. You're going to have to put in the work to get there. So that means getting rid of stuff, not bringing in more stuff into your house, stop buying things. That means making difficult decisions sometimes, deciding what to keep and what to get rid of, and also being uncomfortable as you transition into this new way of living. And like any major change in your life is not going to be easy. It's similar to like if you wanted to lose weight or start an exercise program, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to change the way you live, and you have to completely change the way you eat, and start running, start working out. The same thing when it comes to being a minimalist. You have to change the way you think about things. When it comes to buying stuff, it is like an addiction. Even though I've like trained myself to not go out and go shopping when I'm bored, I still have to fight the urge to buy a new thing if I don't need that thing. If you don't want to be traveling like this, if you just have a house like, full of stuff and you want to start decluttering, it definitely can seem overwhelming to you. Like, where do you even begin? In order to get there, you have to set up some goals. You can't just say like, I want to be a minimalist or I want to have less stuff. You really need to set some like clearly defined goals that are time bound, meaning there is a deadline. So you need that sense of urgency to work towards that goal to where you will be getting rid of your stuff or just decluttering or whatever you want to do when it comes to minimalism. And so maybe you don't want to sell everything you own and live out of a backpack. Maybe you just want to declutter your wardrobe. So to come up with the goal, you need to set it up like, instead of owning 250 articles of clothing, I want to own only 50, and I want this to happen in 6 months' time. That's a very specific, clearly defined goal that has a deadline. So that's a good one to set. And so I recommend setting a goal that's described as a SMART goal. That means that it's specific, it's measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, and I'll explain what those mean. Specific means that your goal is clear and well-defined. In 1 year, I want to move into a flat that's half the size of my current flat, so I need to get rid of enough stuff to make that move happen. That's another good specific goal. Something like that. A vague goal, like I want to own less stuff or I want to declutter, that's not going to help you because you can't measure if you're actually achieving that goal. There's no way to measure it. Less stuff might mean that you get rid of one pair of shoes. In the next 5 years, you've achieved that goal, you're owning less stuff, but you really haven't made any significant change. A measurable goal means that, there's a way to measure it. Having a goal that you want to get rid of enough stuff to where you can live out of 2 backpacks, that's a good one because you can definitely measure that. If you have more stuff and you can't fit it into the backpacks, and you know you haven't achieved that goal. Also, you know, the goal needs to be attainable, so it needs to be something that you can achieve, but you don't want to set the goal to be too easy, because if you just set something easy like I want to get rid of 1 pair of shoes in the next 6 months, that might be very easy for you to do, but then you're not really pushing yourself to make significant change. So you want to set it, the goal needs to be attainable but also challenging because you need to push yourself. And of course the goal needs to be relevant, like to your life and like which direction you want to go in. There's no point in setting a goal that you want to have all of your stuff fit into one bag if you don't plan on traveling around nomadically. And time bound, this is the most important thing I think. Besides having your goal be specific enough to where you can measure it, you need to have a deadline. It gives you this push to where you have to achieve it. With whether it's 6 months or a year, you know that as the days go by, every day you need to be working towards your goal, because that day will come. You will see whether you've made any progress or whether you've failed. You can't just have a goal that's open-ended and that like, I want to be a minimalist someday. It'll never push you to get there. And I always recommend like writing your goal down. Like when I decided like what I wanted to do, that I wanted to get rid of all of my stuff and move to Europe, I had that written down everywhere. I had all of these notes scattered all over the place. You know, I had all these things going at once, but in the back of my mind, that dominated my life to where I was obsessed with getting rid of my stuff. You don't want to forget about your goal or put it on the back burner because you'll never make any progress. And of course, like if you have a house full of stuff, yeah, easy solution, get rid of it. But how do you get to that point? I recommend coming up with like an action plan where you can separate your house into different areas or just different rooms, closets, and set up when you're going to tackle each thing. Like on Monday, I'm gonna go through my wardrobe, and for this week, that's what I'm gonna be working on. And of course it depends on your deadline when that is, but just set up a little schedule of sorts where you can check in and see, okay, on this day I am tackling my shoe collection, I'm going to minimize that. And really, this is just like my opinion on how to go about doing this. Like it's different for everyone. And really, like with me, I didn't have any like set plan when it came to getting rid of my stuff. I just started getting rid of stuff as quickly as I could. I had a year to do that, but I still organized it some way to where I knew I had to get rid of the big stuff first. That just was the easiest thing. And then smaller stuff, I did that as time went on. It's going to be more difficult if you don't have a deadline that's that pressing, but it's totally possible. Like anyone can get to this point where you declutter and you own few things, but you have to find that motivation within you. It really just comes down to you getting rid of the thing. And like, if it's something like a book collection, if you're attached to your book collection, but you want to move into a smaller flat, yet you can't because you have a room full of books, well then how are you going to get to that point? You have to get rid of some of those books. And I know it sounds difficult if you're attached to them, but you have to think about what's more important. If you really want to move to a smaller place, then you have to get rid of the stuff. Otherwise you'll never get there. Yeah, and like it does get easier the more you do it. So like you can get rid of the stuff you're not so attached to, like maybe your clothes. Go through your wardrobe, only keep the stuff you actually wear, get rid of everything else, do it quickly, and then move on from there to your more sentimental items, and that's always difficult. But maybe I can do a video talking about that later. But yeah, it really comes down to what is your goal? Is your goal specific? Can you measure it? Do you have a deadline for that goal? When do you want to get to that point? What is the end goal? Do you want to just be living out of a backpack? Do you want a smaller wardrobe? Do you want to move into a smaller place? Do you want to live out of a van? What is your end goal? Always keep that in the back of your mind. Come up with a plan, a step-by-step plan on how you hope to get there. Come up with a schedule if that helps you, so you can tick things off the list. Maybe commit to getting rid of like so many items every week and donating them. Putting them on eBay, something like that. And then you want to check in on your progress often as you can, to make sure you're keeping up with your goal, and always have your deadline. Like maybe just tell everyone, like, okay, in 6 months time, my wardrobe is gonna be down to 30 items or something like that, and just keep it public, share that with people. That'll help you keep on track, it'll motivate you. I feel like a lot of people like this idea of living as a minimalist, but they like their stuff, so it's difficult for them to find that balance of like, okay, I really want to live this way, but I don't want to get rid of my stuff. It kind of makes me uncomfortable, and so you have to get over that and get rid of it if you want to achieve something like a minimalist lifestyle. It'll be a learning experience. You'll always be fighting this urge to revert back to how you used to be living. Give yourself enough time to make the change, but not too much time because you need that sense of urgency. Just keep working at it little by little. That's really all I can tell you. So I hope you found this video informative. Thanks so much for watching my daily vlogs. I'm glad y'all are enjoying that because I like making them daily. And even if we're not out walking around doing new things, it's still fun to like push myself to do a video to keep the conversation going. So that's what I hope to do. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.